At the end of the day, it's just communication is key, in my opinion. To young couples, to older couples, anybody, it's just communication. With your kids, as your kids get older, communication is key.
It's incredibly important.
It's gotta happen.
Yeah.
Communication is key. Listening, like actual listening.
So what you do is get into an exercise, or at least for yourself, where you really pay attention. And you don't think about anything until she's done talking. And that's an exercise that's healthy if you do that kind of thing. Because we have the tendency of really kind of centering around ourselves rather than paying attention to what's going on and listening to what wants to happen. And I think that often divorces come from people who are screaming out for something and they're not heard by their partner. So it's important to pay attention.
It's a two-way thing, so that, even though that you really want to express how you feel, or, what you're thinking, that it's important to validate the other person's feelings and thoughts as well. Mm-hmm. And not to start forming, your response to them while they're still talking, but to truly hear them out and really hear their heart behind what they're saying.
Do you want to be right or reconciled?
Right. That was one of the things we should say a lot to each other. Do you want to be right? And do you want to be reconciled to one another?
Like, you have to look at, again, with their perspective and their situation, whether what their background was, how they were raised and stuff like that. You can't just accept, hey, this is how I was raised, this is how it should be done. You have to kind of make compromises to the situation you're in and the other person, how they feel about those kind of situations. So.
The lesson I learned about communication was picking the best time to talk about something, not when somebody was getting ready to go someplace or we were on our way to a party. Don't bring up, negative inducing kinds of conversations.
Sometimes when you guys are having a discussion, you don't have to finish it right away if it's going in a negative direction. Sometimes you just have to take a step back and think about it and be like, hey, we're not really agreeing on this. Let's think about it. And then let's see if we can get back together and really talk this through without the heated emotions.
That, and I think respect. I think no matter what situation you're in, how uncomfortable it is, respect for the other person.
Giving the benefit of the doubt is very important in that process. So while I am being assertive and saying, this is what I'm feeling, this is why I'm feeling this, this is what I would like to see, I'm also not assuming that my partner is out to get me. That clouds things a lot. So I ask my couples, give yourselves the benefit of the doubt. Have things in place that protect the relationship and the communication right off the bat.
I'd definitely say some advice I'd give, especially to men in a relationship in regards to communication, is to be vulnerable. I think a lot of times as men, we're kind of pre-programmed to pretend to be strong even when we're feeling afraid or sad. And I think if your ability to practice vulnerability with your partner is really important in depthening your relation and adding depth to your relationship.
And another set of advice that I would give other couples is find those little activities that you do together and enjoy things together and kind of that's just the experience. You can't go to do two separate things and then expect that, hey, we'll come back together and it'll be perfect. Hey, we have to experience that one thing at least together. Not saying that I can't have my own separate hobbies and she can't have her own separate hobbies, but there should be something that's a common thing that you guys kind of build upon to
be open.
Yeah, be open
to new adventures.
Yeah, adventures to everyday life.
Yes,
it's not